that's what I need.
There are many things that this poverty scholar can teach you, but in reality, no more or no less than any of the poverty scholars you see, or more than likely don't see, every day. In your cleaned up, cleaned out, gentrified and redeveloped cities, your barrios, your neighborhoods, your streets, and your parks, houseless families, poor youth of color, migrante, indigenous workers, panhandlers, sex workers, sitting, dwelling, camping, soliciting, convening. I'm them. They are me. That was an excerpt from Poverty Scholarship, Poor People-Led Theory, Art, Words, and Tears Across Mama Earth. If any of my listeners don't have a copy, you should get one. This podcast from a poverty scholar is dedicated to all my brothers and sisters who have been a victim of what I call homeless exceptionalism in this stolen land. Yeah, this piece called The Exceptional Hobo is dedicated to all of us. But you are different, Tidy. These words of homeless exceptionalism were told to me conspiratorial by an elder with race, class, and formal education privilege. That comment followed her original comment about how it didn't feel strategic to redistribute some of her billions of hoarded blood-stained dollars to houseless people trying to build our own solutions to homelessness. Not just a little. She was willing to give us $1,000, but yeah, that wouldn't be enough to liberate Mama Earth, which has a price tag on her back. And so the minimum in most of these settler towns is over $100,000 to $300,000. And you see, that part of it is what makes homefulness possible. The fetishizing, exceptionalizing, othering, and silencing of poor peoples happens in many ways and all the time, from AKKdemia to non-profiteering to politicking. The root begins by othering us into things, not humans. The homeless problem, the illegals, the criminals, the drug addicts, the bums, the drunks, those people. And then it gets even more coded. That's a bad area. That's a dangerous neighborhood. Those people are dirty, messy, unsafe, scary, trash. Don't look at them. When me and Ma were on the street of LA, Frisco, Oakland, and Berkeley, sleeping in bus shelters, park benches, shelter beds, in the back seats of cars, if we were lucky enough to have one, we were consistently referred to by police, security guards, anti-social workers, media, passers-by, and so-called neighbors as mere objects, things, a problem, a burden, a mess, trash, equivalent to a paper cup or a plastic fork. Adjectives like dirty, messy, crazy, and eyesore were commonly used talking about us without us right while we were there, sharing the same bus bench, park, street, or neighborhood. People like us who are trying to live while houseless are so completely dehumanized that we're actually not seen at all. Similarly, our multitude of reasons, problems, struggles, eccentricities, issues, medical and psychological health are silenced and suppressed because we are never considered the same as other humans. In this and other related forms of violent othering, society at large engages and enables our collective erasure, criminalization, and death. Right now I'm staying by the river, but they've been doing daily sweeps, so not sure how long I'll be here, how long I'll last. That was said to me by one of the lead poverty scholars in the Pacific Northwest Turtle Island, who were part of the core group of poverty scholars working to launch their own homefulness project in that territory. We're working with closely New Solidarity family who graduated from the People School degentrification seminar to get that sis into a motel for several weeks. And then the money dried up, which is when in a roundabout way we ended up in the aforementioned strategic conversation about poverty. You see, once you turn people into a thing, now we're monochromatic, only capable of existing in one reality, a reality which has nothing to do with humanity. Now we're things, not people. Now our lack of housing or our lack of actual decent health care, our vulnerability to violence, racist and classist endless profiling, our depression, our inability to hold down a job in the middle of all this, that's not seen because now we're just things. But contrary to your judgmental gaze, houseless people are not a monolith. We are not one color, one age, one culture. We do not speak one language. We are not all without a root because of the same reasons. And just like you, the housed, we're all from different parts of life with different interests and talents and lifestyles and struggles. And just like you, the housed, our homelessness, just like your homefulness, doesn't define us as humans. But see, once you've taken the humanity from a person, you never have to actually listen to them. You can create endless surveys and studies and decisions and laws and projects and media stories and exposés and research books about us without us. In addition, from the perspective of the building, writing, creating, envisioning of self-determined movements like Homefulness and Wood Street Collective and Moms for Housing, we have issues that slow us down. Depression, loss, addiction, violence. But that's not your concern. We are people who have suffered multiple forms of oppression, and we are currently without a roof. And what is important is that we become stabilized with motel rooms, phones, apartments, or temporary shelter, while we are visioning, creating, dreaming, and living into the long-term work of creating our own solutions. It does not mean we no longer qualify to speak as a houseless poverty scholar or to work on the urgent move of liberating Mama Earth. But the slippery slope of homeless exceptionalism has people silencing our voices when we are in struggle and then fetishing our poverty about us, without us, and then viewing us as no longer a problem to be solved once we are sort of housed. Yeah, our messages might not be tied up in a politically conscious bow. They might not be said exactly right for a frickin' hashtag. Our problems, our trauma, and our decisions might not be the best or the most prudent or strategic, but that has nothing to do with our vision or our commitment. That is why we po folks at Poor Magazine launched the Bank of Community Reparations. It has nothing to do with a lottery, a proof of income form, a credit report. It has to do with helping people where they at, when they need it. Why can't poor people of colors who's never traveled travel? Why can't poor people who are driving around a hoopty that breaks down all the time have a car that actually works, a bed that's actually comfortable, a computer that actually functions? Yeah, we've jumped through more hoops than an abused lion in a circus. How many times do we need to prove to you that we need access to basic human rights? In the end, from a poverty scholarship informed perspective, the judgment about who or what reality is more dire is just more of those violent scarcity hoops set up to support a few people and leave the rest of us to become fodder for a polarized state, gentrified communities, violent sweeps, and a system of cages. Yeah. This is what we mean by poverty scholarship. But it requires people with privilege who tend to veer towards savioring and soft judging to break free from that belief. Stop thinking you have any knowledge that is useful about us without us, and suspend that point of view completely. This is why Mama D and Wade Nobles taught on transubstantive errors in poverty scholarship, which is rooted in black psychology based on the idea that middle-class white people and even middle-class POC make decisions about our housing, our children, our lives, and how much resources they are willing to distribute, depending on how much we prove to them that we are, in fact, ready or fit for their support. And so guess what? This means we're still on the street. We're still by the river. We're still being swept and evicted and harassed. And most of the time, that weight kills us. Like it did co-founders, co-teachers of Homefulness, Lori McElroy, Kathy Galvez, Papa Bear, and so many more. Ivaye. Thank you for listening. Please activate to liberate. And no more wealth hoarder ambivalence. Please.
Said I need a dollar, that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, would you share your